Hello, Capricorn. Happy New Year and welcome to your January 2026 reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. I really appreciate you showing up today. We got a lot to talk about. Before I get into the general reading, just a quick note. You can always use these forecasts for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. Today, we're going to do something special where I'm going to take a look at the 4 quarters of the year, so there'll be 4 extra cards. I hope you stick around to see that as well. Let's get into my favorite part of this reading, which is channeled messages. In my dreams, multiple times I was transported to a beautiful part of the United States, the Grand Canyon. Particularly, I was shown earthen and pueblo-like structures like adobe buildings. And these are often ascribed to indigenous people like the Hopi. But I wasn't necessarily just seeing that one group of people. It was more the structures connected with the first inhabitants of this part of the world here. And I felt this sense of peace, spirituality, and grounded energy, something that we've lost in modern times. And I think the most important thing that came through with this beautiful ancestral connection was to get your feet on the ground, or at the very least, think of the Temperance card where there's 1 foot on the ground, 1 foot on water. Find your space where you can feel safe and supported right now, and get out into nature. So after I was shown that part of the Southwest, then I was just in the mountains, and it could have been in the mountains anywhere. But I was getting a perspective, like a bird's eye view on a situation. And I felt like I was at the top of the mountain, and it was so inspiring. In modern cities right now, we get so kind of thrown in the thicket of traffic, work, pressure, supermarkets, like all these things that just take us out of the beautiful connection that a lot of First Nation and indigenous people had. This connection with the earth. We've lost it on some levels, but we can find it again. I think when we find that, we'll also find the connection to one another, because we get so busy in our phones, on our computers, in our lives, in traffic, like I said, that we just are not present. So getting outside could be very, very helpful in clearing your mind and clearing your energy. Taking a vacation, holiday trip, whatever you want to call it, to have your 8 of Cups moment where you can see something from a different perspective. I specifically saw being at the top of the mountain as being very important. It could just be that it's time to elevate physically, mentally, spiritually, and see things from a higher perspective, energetically, and maybe like literally too. Just change your geographical location so you can change your point of view, your point of reference. And then the adobe buildings that I kept seeing, these beautiful earthen homes, it just told me, find a place where you feel safe and where you feel like you're at home. And spend some time meditating there and figuring out what the next move is going to be. So this month, it's all about grounding, connections, and point of view or point of reference. So whatever you can do in your life to achieve those things, please do. And as I look at the Celtic Cross in front of us here in just a few moments, I'll keep an eye out for you as well. But keep your feet on the ground. I think that's the main message from the channeled perspective here, just to make sure that you breathe and you stay connected to nature, to family, to whatever it is that creates grounding in your life. All right, before we get started, let's give Apollo a little pat on the head. Hey, buddy. How you doing? You good puppy? Yes. All right, Apollo makes it all better. Let's get started here. So take a moment, please, if you haven't already. Close your eyes and imagine that there is a beautiful ray of light shining around your body, creating a circle of light. Within this circle of light, you are protected and you are connected to source energy. All right, let's get started here with your catalyst. We have a spiritual rune coming through here that represents protection and defense. And with the card reversed, it's saying you are protected, first of all. Family, ancestral, spiritual energies coming forth to help you. But it's also giving you a nudge saying, make sure that you're also doing the same for yourself. So boundaries, limits, saying no. These are great ways to create defense. But you can also look at everyday things like insurance. I mean, it's kind of very, very practical, but we combine the two things here in these readings. So make sure that your car insurance, your house insurance, your life insurance, all of that stuff is sorted out. And then when it comes to interactions with friends and family, make sure that you have boundaries and say no and say when enough is enough. And that's basically everything that's coming through with this. There's also the power of 3 with this. So we're looking at maybe 2 or 3 areas of your life that could use a little bit of focus and protection. So as I look at the cards, I'll try to reference that as necessary. But the main message here is you are protected, but continue to do your own due diligence to increase that protection as well. Meditation is a really great way to amp up on spiritual protection. It helps you see what you need to see. It helps you release what you don't need to carry with you anymore. All right, let's get into the Celtic Cross. We have King and Knight energy here. We're going to start off with the Knight. Center card, Knight of Pentacles. You know, you're one of the first signs where I've seen some good pentacle energy coming forth. So it feels like not only is this representing you because it's Earth, but it's also saying that there could be some significant movement when it comes to money, opportunity, and resources. And that could actually be why this is coming through. So make sure that you protect what you've worked so hard to create. We also have a cute little squirrel on this card. Squirrels are good because they kind of like put things away, a contingency fund, a college fund, savings, insurance, all of that. And as you start to gain more abundance in your life, make sure that you protect and invest wisely so one day you don't have to work so hard, right? There could be a new job opportunity knocking at the door. You might actually just be taking some sort of idea to the next level. We see things moving quickly because Knights tend to speed along. And I would say just make sure that you're taking time to be present, to ground yourself, and to squirrel some of that money away for a rainy day, to use that turn of phrase. I love that we see acorns here on the mantle that he's carrying. So definitely, those are like pentacles. Take some, enjoy it now, put some away for a rainy day, and then also invest some so that it can grow. This actually is a very, very auspicious symbol, and it looks like you're on the road to either growth or recovery or abundance. All good things. All right, crossing that card, we have Queen of Swords. Say what you need to say, do what you need to do. She's action-oriented. She's standing on business and saying, let's get this finished. I love the bullish energy here, positivity when it comes to the finance and the business that we just talked about, but she doesn't mince words and she doesn't waste time. That's one of the things that I love here. Expedient is the word that keeps coming to my mind. So take action. This is a time also to get things in written format, get a signature if you need to, begin on any sort of task, goal, or idea that you have, and really, what's the best word? Seize this moment. Because I feel like so much can happen right here, right now. Use your voice, speak up, say yes, say no, create those boundaries, and take action. Fantastic energy crossing that card. Let's look at the deep past here. You've done the work. This is great. So in the deep past, we have a card of community, 10 of Cups. I love the rainbow. No matter what challenges you've had, which can sometimes be represented by rain, the rainbow represents this newfound sense of hope or optimism or a new day. It's also diversity, different energy. So if you feel like you don't fit in somewhere, follow the rainbow. Find somewhere where your people are. And what we see in the 10 of Cups is friends, family, chosen family, community, and love. And you've set up the foundation for that. If it isn't here right now, I understand, but on an energetic level, you're in a good space. Interestingly enough, maybe there are areas in your life where there's too much of a defensive stance. So it's saying, open up the heart a little bit. Yeah, protect your finances and other things, but When we put too much of a wall around the heart, it's hard for other people to come in. So you've done the work. We'll see how this sort of factors out as we continue to travel around the cards. We have Two of Swords in the recent past in the reverse position. This is an opening of your eyes, also awakening of the third eye. So I finally see someone or something for what it truly is, like it or not, because the crowning card is the Devil reversed. Trust in what you're seeing. Trust in what you're knowing. You can't ignore something. You can't put something back into the bottle. It's kind of like Pandora's box. When things are out, they're out in the open, and typically with this card, they're out in the open for the better. If you're not clear on something, or if you still need some information, ask questions. Two of Swords is a very inquisitive card. She's not blinded in this card, though. Typically, we have a blindfold around the eyes and the ears. She is aware. She is awake. She knows that that wolf is lurking behind her. She's trying to figure out what the next move is going to be. And I think for some of you, there might have been a wolf in sheep's clothing because we have the Devil in reverse in the crowning position. So the Devil, although I don't love this illustration, so we're going to swap it out for the traditional one, but the Devil can sometimes represent just something that isn't worth your time, your energy. And whenever you're sort of like creating a contract, this is not what you want to see. And that's why at the center we had this Queen of Swords energy, fighting for her value, fighting for her worth, and saying, no, we're not going to ignore what you're saying. We're not going to ignore what you're doing. We're going to fix this. We're going to stand on business here and make this work. I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to advocate for myself. And you have a lot of support in this situation. Let's look at a slightly more palatable version of the Devil card. What I like about this one is the Devil isn't always this creepy, crawly, scary sort of figure that we see here. Sometimes it's a temptation. Sometimes it's attractive. Sometimes you look at someone or something in your life and you just think, oh, I shouldn't do this. Listen to that first instinct. Don't do it. Don't follow through after that. Instead, just say, okay, been there, done that, and I know where that story ends. Don't give in to temptation. If there's someone around you that has constraints on their love or affection for you, it's not good enough for you. If they compare you to someone, couldn't you be more like this person? Then I love you more. Big old red flag, big blinking red light. Don't do it. If someone basically tries to pull you into something and you know it's going to cost more in the long run, don't do it. This can also be an addiction in your life. And you realize, just like all the things I mentioned, that it takes more than it gives. So in all of these situations, there's an opportunity to cut the sort of like the ties here from the past and say, no thanks. Don't even say thanks, but no thanks. Just affirm no thanks, because Queen of Swords energy, she is not sending mixed signals. And when you're dealing with this, you have to say no. I do like that it is reversed. So this is indicating that you see it, you know what to do. She's going to help you say what you need to say and do what you need to do. All right, in the near future, we have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is in the reverse position. It's a blessing in disguise. It might take a moment or two to tune in and see what that blessing is, but give yourself the time to do that. I think the traditional illustration does a better job on this one. So you'll see that there's like this floating ace right by his eyes, and he's just having a hard time seeing it because he's too fixated on could've, should've, would've, all the things that are in front of him. Also sometimes comparing himself unfairly or too harshly with someone else. Why haven't I accomplished this? Why isn't it happening? Sometimes it's so that we can see a different path. And the Devil energy that you just kind of encountered, the block, could have been a block that is actually there as cosmic protection. Not this. But you just have to tune in long enough to try something different. So as we're looking at January, you're really being encouraged to step out of your comfort zone, to continue to stay positive, even when there's some challenges, and say, how can I make the best of this? Is there something I'm missing? Is there something that I can shift either in my habits, my perspective, and in doing so, possibly open up that blessing that was floating there? All right, let's see how you're showing up. A nice cosmic connection with the Queen of Swords. We have King of Swords, but he's reversed. So the Queen of Swords came through to basically instruct you to not mince any words and to take action. A King of Swords in reverse is overly critical. So as a representation of self, this is you being too hard on yourself. All the stuff that we just talked about with the Four of Cups. looking at the past and thinking, if only I had known, if only I had done something differently, if only perhaps I had said no to whatever the temptation was here. All that matters is right here, right now, you know what to do. So instead, start to get affirmative. Say, yeah, I could have done better. And I will start doing better now, tomorrow, and the next day. And because I experienced this, I'm wiser, I'm stronger, I'm capable, more capable than before. Now, the King of Swords in reverse does have a couple of positive attributes. One is he can say no, and say no very effectively. Even more so than the Queen of Swords upright, he's very clear, almost to the point of being sometimes too blunt. So I would say the important thing here, just like we said, don't be overly critical to yourself. When delivering criticism or when creating boundaries, make sure that there is also a little decorum, a little bit of diplomacy. Check in with someone, make sure that the time is right, make sure that they understood what you said and it didn't come off a little too harsh. That's the only thing that I would say with this. But ultimately, when it comes to a defensive stance, the King of Swords will fight for what's right, and you can create better equilibrium in your life if someone was doing something that they shouldn't have, or if you needed to make a necessary change. Okay, in the environment, we have movement. So this could be you deciding to move somewhere else, deciding to travel. There could be something coming towards you, an opportunity. Could be that blessing in disguise. Could be a love interest. Could be a friendship. There's something on the horizon coming towards you. We're not necessarily in a Three of Wands moment where there are three ships, but there's at least one. And it behooves you to kind of take a look at this and see what it is. You might be overdue for a holiday, a break, or a vacation like I talked about. And it could be very advantageous to do something out in nature. There are the mountains right behind the person that's rowing the ship. Six of Swords is also a question to you. Are you ready to steer the ship? Are you ready to take the reins or take the wheel and drive in the direction that you want to? If you are, now is the time, and there is an opportunity that is within reach. It's just a question of preparedness. So if you're ready, now is the time to take action. All right, this is such a beautiful synchronicity in hopes, fears, and opportunities. You know, I called out the Temperance Angel. Here it is. I said, keep your feet on the ground, or at least one of your feet on the ground, and test the waters. That is the Temperance Angel. You don't have to jump headfirst in anything. Give yourself ample time to do the research, to see how you feel, and to make sure that it resonates for you. Because one of the things that El Diablo does here is tries to push you into something that doesn't feel right. The Temperance Angel is cautious. It is very, very tuned in, very grounded, and it's saying one step at a time. Literally test the water first. So you can ease into or out of any situation, and just like the word itself, it means not going to extremes. So slow, steady, and measured. You can see that the two chalices there, it's sort of like making sure that you're getting enough, there's give and take, that it feels right. This is also about clearing out your energy, and that comes through meditation, therapy, exercise, talking things out. Make sure that you're all right. And all of this leads us to a beautiful, absolutely beautiful Ace of Cups in the final position here. And that, my friends, is that floating ace. I often mention that Rider-Waite-Smith ace on the Four of Cups is sometimes just love or opportunity knocking. If you're willing and if you're ready to look in a different direction. He's so frustrated on this card, but if he could just look past what's in front of him and see what's coming forth, well, there's some good stuff. The whole goal of January is to get your Ace of Cups to the overflowing point. That comes from not needing someone else to fill it up. So you work on self-confidence, self-care. You work on allowing yourself time to rest, to recalibrate. And in doing so, you get to a place where basically you're a magnet. You're calling in that which you seek. This can be love, this can be opportunity, this can be creativity. So I actually really like the overall trajectory that you're taking over the course of this month. Okay, we're going to expand the forecast now. So in the expanded forecast, we'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to begin with the energy of health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. And there is a resistance to slowing down. We have the turtle, which can represent taking your time. And with the reversal of this card, it's saying, it's almost like Four of Swords in reverse. There is a resistance to rest. There is a resistance to just sort of be present. Slow down. really drink it in. You'll know when you need to move a little bit faster. But for now, it feels like you're exactly where you need to be. Take some time, almost like a hanged man in reverse as well. The other message that I'm getting with this is to travel lightly. So the turtle has everything he needs right there on his back. It's almost like the fool. A lot of analogies with the turtle. So release old baggage. Only take into a situation figuratively and literally what's necessary. It'll lighten the load. It'll help you focus, and it makes life a little bit easier along the way. All right, let's just take a look at all of this and see if there's some main messages for health. Devil in reverse. Avoid temptation. For some of you, this can be people or environments that tend to trigger you. Step away from anything that is not helping your body. It could be caffeine, alcohol, sugar, or some sort of pre-existing addiction. The devil card is coming through and trying to get you to go back down that old path, but you're not going to do that. The defense card here can represent sort of like your defenses being lowered through overworking, through not taking care of yourself. So create a natural sort of protection against cold and flu just by getting enough sleep, eating well, exercising, etc. I feel like there is a lack of meditation, or there's an opportunity for more meditation to help you see stuff that's coming through. So if you're not a natural meditator, there can also be things in your life like art, exercise, hiking, where you can go into a meditative state. So maybe that will work for you as well. Two of Swords in reverse. You can't ignore something. If something doesn't feel right, talk to your doctor about it. Better to deal with it now. It probably isn't as complicated or as bad as you think. But if you don't do something, it could be. So proactive approach rather than reactive approach. The Six of Swords in the environment, it's probably time to get out and change up your scenery a little bit. So if you're stuck and feeling not like unproductive, or just kind of like the walls are closing in a little bit, you could redecorate, you could clear the energy around you, but you also just might need a change of scenery in order to sort of like get perspective. Other than that, the rest of these cards are pretty good. So let's move on to the next category, which is wealth. In wealth, we're going to look at the crows here. Very interesting. We have an influence card, and with the reversal of this, it's saying bad influence. And on this, we see vices like cigarettes and alcohol, the things that the devil that I was talking about in the top could be representing. So you're seeing through the vices and the temptations, and you're saying no. All right, let's break this down into a few categories, beginning with those of you that already have a job. So we're going to keep an eye on influence, and what we see here with the devil, actually, because it's in the crowning position, for some of you, this can be limiting thoughts. I can't do this. It won't happen. It could also be engaging in gossip and talking to people about things that are bothering you. Be very mindful of who you keep company with and who you trust. There's a lot of chatter between these two cards, and sometimes you have to be careful. So if you do need to kind of vent about work stuff, I would pick an objective third party. A friend that's completely unrelated to the workplace, or a therapist. Don't gossip at work. So that's one thing. Taking that influence card out, the rest of the stuff that I see for you is actually pretty auspicious. It looks like you're going to have a productive month. There's a chance to speak and sort of step into a position of power if you're ready for it. Now, if there's something that's missing that you need, that you don't like, also articulate that, but do it in a way that is constructive. If you need to walk away from something, do that. That's actually one of the best tools with the devil, is just to walk the other way sometimes, because you can't necessarily win here, but you can lean on the support of experts. This is often legal counsel. If the Justice card isn't present, but you see both the King and the Queen of Swords, rather, it might be time to lean on the advice of a legal expert. Otherwise, what I'm seeing here for this spread is actually pretty good. This is a chance for you to slowly make some progress. There could be a really great opportunity that is starting to open up for you, and it just requires a little bit of imagination. So a good month with one potential temptation when it comes to gossip or complaining, so avoid that. Entrepreneurs, a little bit different for you. The Two of Swords here is what I'm paying attention to, and I think this is the connection to the devil for you. The Two of Swords is missing an opportunity or ignoring a problem or challenge in front of you. It's really important to tune in right now. So what you can do is send a questionnaire, talk to customers, talk to the people that are directly working with you, your employees, your vendors. make sure that you have like a pulse on what's going on. And if there is a complaint, an issue, or a problem, it'll probably bubble up through that. So make sure that you take time to listen. Once you've done that, what I see here is an opportunity in the environment, possibly to do some travel or distribution, reaching beyond your present shores. So we're looking at very slowly, very gently expanding the company, not changing everything overnight, not throwing things out without making sure that you're not making a mistake. This is kind of like if you look at Coca-Cola, when it changed its formula to like New Coke versus the Coca-Cola, no one liked it. So they have to ask and make sure that you're solving a problem that needs to be solved. So I really think the main thing here is to listen, to talk to the people around you that have helped make you successful, and then, and only then, pivot. Make slow and measured changes this month. Ace of Cups in the outcome is quite good. I want you to be really positive about something that, like whether it's your product or your company vision or whatever, really start to articulate where you want to be and take the steps to get there, because it feels like you can do this. There's one challenge in front of you, but it can be accomplished by tuning in. There's a lot of love and a lot of support here, so ask around. I feel like people want you to succeed. Just don't ignore something. That's all, okay? If you're seeking employment right now, can you find it? Yes, but you're being a little hard on yourself. Devil plus King of Swords in reverse is the inner saboteur, saying you're not good enough, it's not happening, and you start to psych yourself out of something. The Six of Swords is about trying something not just out of your comfort zone, but possibly in a different industry. Doesn't always involve moving or travel. It could just be saying, I'm going to steer the ship in this direction. Maybe I'm going to go back to school. Maybe now is a time where you could look at recompiling all of your skills and saying, they could also work over here. So a pivot. We're looking at a career pivot. And with that, an opportunity. So if you're willing to test the waters in a different section or a completely different career path, I see an option here, because it feels like you might have stagnated a bit with what you were doing, okay? Try not to work with family. I'm looking at these two in opposition. So if there is a family job, just very short term, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, but it could end up getting complicated. Friends and family can lead to complication. You can find a job through them with someone else, but don't work for them, okay? Students. So I love the outcome. I love everything around you, but something in the cognitive space, it's either like you're feeling detached from what you're doing, or you're not feeling encouraged, or it's not what you want. So talk to your career counselor, talk to your academic counselor. There are a lot of options here. You can steer it in any direction. I feel like there's something here that could be stress, anxiety, or dissatisfaction. But the rest of the cards are good. So we're looking mostly at emotions here. Talk to an expert there at school, or talk to someone else that you trust, because I feel like it's never too late to make a change. And we're at the very beginning of this year and semester, so you can make some shifts if you need to, okay? Some of you might just you're feeling like you're not being seen or heard, and in this situation, changing to a different school, to a different advisor can help. But there might just be a small pivot that's necessary. This can just be stress. So if you need to talk to a psychologist as well, that's fine. Whatever's going on in the headspace, please talk to someone that you trust to help you out with that, because everything else looks good. Retirees, travel is something that you're looking forward to or might want to explore. Writing and teaching could also be advantageous with the Queen and King of Swords. There is a feeling like I think you're putting unnecessary pressure on yourself, or you're beating yourself up over something that you did in the past. Let that go if you can, because travel and love are definitely lighting up here, and love can be new friendship or new connections coming into your life. This is very much part of the past. And maybe for some of you, you miss someone who was a bad influence, and you're just saying, so long, that isn't what I need anymore. And again, now that we've gone through the entirety of all of this, where you spend your time, the environment, that is one of the biggest influences in your life. If it's toxic or tempting or somehow distracting, it's time to shift or to pivot. Let's look at love and relationships. We have spring energy coming through, new beginnings. We have an ace of cups. So we definitely could have someone or something new on the horizon. Let's look at this in categories. If you're in an existing partnership, we're ending on a very positive note and we're starting on one. So the foundation is strong, the ending is strong. There might be something out of your control. There could also be a secret that needs to come to the surface. If you can't trust your partner, who can you trust? Or if you're dealing with something on your own and you're afraid of what they would think, let them in. If I can offer a piece of advice here, it's all in how you set it up. So if there's something difficult and or important that you need to share, start by saying, I love you, you're my best friend, and I really need your advice on something. It's not too scary then. You are actually saying, I'm coming to you because I trust you. And I know we can work this out together. So set it up as they are your BFF and you're coming forth because of the strength of the relationship. Then let them know what's going on. And they probably can help you through this based on what I'm seeing here, okay? So that's one thing. Distance might be straining the existing partnerships a little bit. One or both of you might be traveling. That could also be the source of this tension. There could also be this feeling of frustration because you're comparing yourself to other people. This can be a commitment issue because we see love and commitment here, but maybe you guys haven't made it official. Maybe you're afraid of getting engaged or married. So talk it out. Let them know what it is that you want. Talk about expectations and timelines. Maybe now isn't the time, but you can talk about when it is a good time, etc. Easy does it. You can work through this. This is more of an emotional and mental challenge than one that's in the environment because of the position. Get it out in the open. Speak openly. I love that we have King and Queen of Swords. You can work this out, okay? If you're single and looking, can you find love? Yes. However, it's really important that you first deal with whatever pressure it is that we just kind of have been talking about here. So this can be pressure from work, fear over like what's coming next in your life. It feels like there's a little bit of work that you need to do with yourself first. That being said, there might be an ex in the picture and you're working on releasing them because the devil card is typically an attachment. So we have both pentacles and swords here at the center. One or two people from the past, it might be important to release that energy so you can move on to new love. I really think that the new sort of energy doesn't want to reveal itself just yet insofar as what sign it is, but I can see there's at least an air sign that needs to be released. I think that this is you. So there could be Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius in the mix, and you're just gently moving through things, or you just need to articulate what it is that you don't want, and this is going to allow you to move forth. I would say 3 to 4 weeks from now, so towards the end of the month, you're much more prepared for this Ace of Cups energy, okay? And for those that are single and happy, good for you. What you can focus on right now is furthering career growth, personal development, focusing on travel, and you can still create new connections in your life. It could be a business network. It could be a new friend. Even if you're not looking for love, it might come knocking. It looks like you're in a really good position right now. All right, let's take a look at your destiny card and then we'll go into the quarters of the year. Raziel came through, the inner workings. There are hidden truths beneath the surface. Dig deeper. In this period of time, you don't have time for any of the surface stuff. That's why like even the gossip energy that I was talking about, it's a waste of time and energy. In relationships, if someone isn't interested in commitment and you are, don't waste your time. Focus on people that have that depth of character, and then don't be afraid to have deep conversations with people that you care about. Now is the time. All right, we're going to go into the quarterly forecast. 4 cards for the 4 quarters of the year. Let's give the cards a shuffle, and we'll see what's coming forth in 2026. All right. Q1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. We'll start off with the first quarter, January, February, and March. So we have the 10 of Pentacles. It's in the reverse position. Things may come on strong. There may be a lot of energy around work, money, and finance. Some of you might also be expanding the family. The 10 of Pentacles can be marriage. It can be birth. It can be, again, extended family. One of the things that might also be difficult, and this is where the defense rune comes in, is pushing back on pressure from your friends, from your family, and from your peers, which are all part of 10 of Pentacles. It's your life, not theirs. Sometimes there's pressure to accomplish for their happiness, not yours. pushing you into a relationship or to having a baby or to taking a job that doesn't feel right, to buying a house before you're ready. These are your choices. Create a future that feels right for you. Know that in January, February, and March, we see opportunity for growth in money, for stable foundations when it comes to relationships and your finances, and maybe just a little bit of pressure to continue to keep up the pace. This is why, as we go into the second quarter of the year, April, May, and June, it's just about rest. So you can work as hard as you want during that first quarter, but when April, May, and June comes around, don't be surprised if the universe is saying, let's slow down a little bit. So your schedule may lighten. There may not be as much of a social sort of sphere around you as there usually is. You may just be sick and tired, and you're saying, you know what, I need to slow down. It's natural. It's good. It's going to give you perspective. I'm going to pull the traditional card while we're talking, but what I like about the Rider-Waite-Smith version of the card is when you rest, first of all, you connect to the realm of dreams and intuition. So I'd like you to keep a journal of that. But you also allow yourself to release heartache, challenges, disappointment. And all of this helps you regain vitality. 3 swords above, representing the 3 of swords. 1 sword below, the vitality, the idea, the energy to move forward and flourish. So 2 or 3 months of recalibration, and then things start to take off. So in quarter 3, lo and behold, we have 2 of Wands. It came because you gave yourself a chance to slow down. Now, the card was reversed, but I encourage you to listen. Instead of a globe, we have a cute little bird here. Spirit's coming through and whispering ideas and opportunities and visions for the future. You have to be willing and ready to see yourself there. So don't second guess your dreams, your visions, or your intuition. So you've slowed down to rest, but I also want you to take time now to meditate, plan, and articulate those plans with others. Then what are you going to do to follow through? This is often accompanied by high priestess or magician energy, because after you see what you want, then you figure out how to accomplish what you want. So we can intuit along with this card that you are going to set the dreams in motion. In the latter part of the year, July, August, and September, you're going to start to get insight. And maybe there's too many ideas kind of flooding through, so jot them down. And when you later have time and energy and the resources to deal with it, then you're going to be able to see it through. The final quarter of the year is the only one that might be a little bit surprising, maybe challenging, but we have the 8 of Swords and it's reversed. So in the upright position, blindfolded, feeling of being trapped. In the reverse position, an understanding that something isn't allowing you to grow. So you're stuck in the chrysalis and you can't spread your wings out like the butterfly wants to. So you're starting to decide, I need to part ways with this person or this place or this thing. And you can do so over that quarter of the year. It doesn't have to happen immediately. This is also a prison of thought, and a reversal of this is encouraging you from going into a space where you think, this is as good as it gets, or this is all I can do, to what else is possible? Why can't I go for that? Imagination and expansion so that you can grow the energy of the 2 of Wands. There's some sort of fear that's coming forth that is unfounded, unnecessary, and it feels like you're ready to let it go. So stay in an expansive place. Be imaginative. Ask the questions that you need to ask, and don't let anybody paint you or put you in the corner, okay? Now let's look at the final card, final question for this month. Go ahead and ask Spirit whatever it is that you still have a question about, and we'll give the cards a shuffle and see what your guides have to say. It's pretty darn good. If it was a yes or no, the Knight of Cups is a yes. This is auspicious when it comes to love, relationships, and opportunity. It's a happy card. There could be a new person coming into your life, a Cancer, Scorpio, or a Pisces. This could also just be indicative of the movement of creativity right now. There's a lot of energy that wants to flow through you. Stay open, stay aware, make some time for fun too. The Knight of Cups is playful and he's saying, drink in this moment, be present, enjoy. What a magical reading. This has been one of my favorite ones for the new year. Clearly, you've done some work. Lean into that beautiful energy that I saw in the deep past. It's time to have fun. It's time to move past any of the blocks that are in front of you and really thrive in January. All right. Thank you so much for giving me the time and space to be here for you. Happy New Year again. Good to see you. Before we wrap up for today, just a couple of quick notes. If you like what you see here and you'd like to give back in the form of a contribution, you can do that through PayPal. You can also give a super sticker or become a member. A way that's 100% free and helps more than you'd ever imagine is by subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment below. You can also give me a follow on social media. On all major platforms, it's Nicholas Ashbaugh. But you can go to the to my website, I should say, to get all of those official links, including a way to sign up for my newsletter. I actually put it at the very top of the website. So feel free to sign up. I'm going to be launching some new things later in January and February. I'd like you to be a part of that. And in the meantime, much love and light. Apollo is behind us, so we'll wrap up with giving him a pat on the head, and then we'll say our goodbyes. Hey, Apollo. Thank you for holding space back here, buddy. Good to see you. All right, guys. Thank you again for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Again, Happy New Year. Wishing you all the best now and always.